You know that feeling when you see someone get a paper cut and you physically wince? Or when a friend starts laughing and you can't help but smile too? Well, that's not just you being a nice person, it's your brain. It's neuroscience. And today, we're diving into the incredible brain cells that are the very foundation of how we connect with each other. It's pretty amazing stuff. So, what's so wild about this whole field is that it didn't start with some grand theory or a brilliant hypothesis. Nope. This idea, which completely changes how we see the social brain, started with a total accident in a lab in Italy. And that accident all boils down to this one kind of weird question. I know it sounds like the beginning of a strange joke, right? But the answer uncovered this fundamental mechanism that's hardwired into all of our brains, a discovery that, honestly, changed neuroscience forever. Okay, so picture this scene in the early 90s. The plan is simple, right? They're just trying to study the neurons that control movement. So step two, everything's going perfectly. The monkey grabs a peanut and a neuron fires on the monitor. Great. But then, the accident. A researcher, maybe he's just on his lunch break, casually reaches out and grabs a peanut for himself. And suddenly, the monitor goes off again. The exact same neuron fires in the monkey's brain. But here's the kicker. The monkey was sitting perfectly still. It hadn't moved an inch. It just watched. In that one moment, they had accidentally discovered the brain's own internal simulator. Yeah, that one little moment, it blew the doors wide open. It led to this whole new understanding of a special class of brain cells. And researchers gave them a perfect name for what they do. They create a mirror of the world right inside our own heads. So here's the main idea, and it's a big one. Mirror neurons basically blur the line between seeing and doing. When you watch someone kick a soccer ball, the very same neurons in your brain that you would use to kick a ball, they start firing too. Your brain isn't just a passive observer. It's actively simulating the action. It's running a dress rehearsal in your head. And this is where it gets really cool, because you see this stuff in your own life all the time. That contagious yawn you just can't fight, that's your mirror neurons firing. Wincing when you see an athlete take a hard fall, that's your brain simulating that pain. Your own muscles twitching while you're watching the Olympics? Yep. In a very real neurological way, you're right there with them. This quote from Marco Iacoboni, one of the top researchers in the field, just nails it. This whole process isn't a slow, logical thing. You don't see a smile and think, okay, that person's lips are curved up, their cheeks are raised, therefore they must be happy. No. Your brain just simulates the smile, and you get a little echo of that feeling yourself. You don't think it, you just feel it. It's immediate. All right, so if our brains can mirror simple actions like grabbing a peanut or smiling, what happens with something more complex? What happens when they mirror emotions? Well, this is where it all gets really profound because we're wading into the biological roots of empathy itself. And the science on this is just crystal clear. Research has shown this incredibly strong connection. Basically, when they look at people's brains, they find that folks who have more active mirror neuron systems also score way higher on standard empathy tests. So the more your brain mirrors the world around you, the better you are at tuning into how other people are feeling. It's a real physical link. Now, if you take away just one thing today, please let it be this. This is the absolute game changer. Our capacity for empathy, it's not some fixed trait you're just born with. Because it's tied to a neural system, it's more like a muscle. And just like any other muscle, you can actually train it and make it stronger. So how do you work out this empathy muscle? Well, you gotta give your mirror neurons a varied workout routine. When you read fiction, you are literally putting yourself inside another person's head, forcing your brain to simulate their experiences. Same thing when you watch movies or shows about people who are nothing like you, or when you spend real time with people from different backgrounds. You are literally rewiring your brain to be more connected. Look, this isn't just some cool trivia about the brain. This stuff has really urgent meaning for the world we're all living in today. Because understanding the wiring that connects us also helps us see the forces that are trying to pull us apart.
Now, to be totally transparent, there is some healthy debate here. You have some scientists making these huge claims, calling them the neurons that shaped civilization. Others think that's going a little too far. But, and this is the key point, even the biggest skeptics agree on the core truth. Our brains aren't just neutral observers. They are built to resonate with other people. Connection is our factory default setting.
And that leads to a really important warning for right now. If your empathy circuits get stronger by seeing lots of different experiences, what do you think happens when our social media feeds and news algorithms only show us people who already think, look, and act just like us? well, those empathy circuits can actually start to get weaker. Your brain gets good at what it practices.
But here's the good news. The flip side is just as true. We have the power to push back against that. By making an active choice to seek out different stories, different perspectives, different people, we can intentionally build a stronger, more resilient capacity for empathy.
So really, it all comes down to this one thing. We have all the hardware for deep, meaningful connection already installed in our brains. It's standard issue. But that hardware doesn't just run itself. Firing it up comes down to a choice we make over and over again every single day.
So the final question isn't whether you're wired for empathy. The science is in. You are. We all are. The real question is for you. What will you choose to connect with? What stories, what people, what experiences will you choose to feed those circuits? Because that choice, it doesn't just shape your own mind, it really does help shape our world.